What's up? On this episode, I have Michael Stryker of All Hype, an unsigned pop punk band out of right here in my own scene, Portland, Oregon. If you don't know, you now know. Maybe you've seen them run through your city in the past, whether it's been on tour or the Long Beach date of the 2025 Vans Warped Tour. If you're a fan of bands like The Story So Far and Neck Deep, then go ahead and check out the band's full-length album 3D. They're currently working on a brand new album, among other things. But before we get into all that, I got to tell you about SeatGeek, where you can get $20 off your first time order using promo code DENNING at checkout. Also, Emo is Not Dead is giving all podcast listeners 20% off their entire cart using promo code DENNING20 at checkout. Denning20 at checkout. And with that said, this is my chat with Michael Stryker of All Hype. Enjoy.
Cool, man. Yeah. So, Mike, All Hype.
Yo.
Yeah, so you came back from the gym, like, what, 15, 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I just took a shower and shit. So you got me all fresh and clean right now. So
Yeah. So if I understand it correctly, you work at the front desk of Portland City Boxing, or?
So I actually am no longer at PCB. I'm actually at a new gym, so I'm transitioning out of that. I'm actually a full-time coach now. So I was the manager over at PCB, and now I work at a different gym now. So
okay, yeah. So that just started like recently, like, or?
Yeah, very recently. Long story short, I really love the gym and I love the coaches and stuff. It's just me and ownership just don't see eye to eye on, and I'm trying to build a good spot where our community can flourish. So, so I decided to transfer out of it. So
it wasn't even like a touring or music obligations thing. It was just personality
nothing
conflict.
at all. No. I mean, it just came down to just differences in morality. I think is the biggest thing. I try to do the most professional way of saying it, but it is what it is.
No, I hear that. I mean, and with this new gig, I mean, that would open you up to just, hey, I'm leaving for like 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
cool.
No, I mean that's the best thing about like a lot of the gigs that we do. We're able to tour, so it's awesome. We get a bunch of random ass opportunities, so we try to keep the door open. And if I have to quit a job, then yeah, I quit a job and figure it out later. So
yeah, and you're 1099, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're all sorts of shit. I was W-2 for a long time, 1099. Venmo works as well, so we make shit happen.
Man, I've never actually done taxes with like Venmo involved like that.
It's a pain in the ass. That's all you need to know about it.
No, dude, I did a lot of like rideshare stuff like way back when it was like actually profitable.
Oh,
and it was the worst. Like, it was terrible because you had to track every single detail, and if you miss like a little bit, you owe hundreds of dollars into the thousands.
Oh God, yeah, they'll suck you dry for sure. No,
dude, it was so tight at one point, just raking in money.
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever actually seen like an Instacart is during COVID. My mom and dad like sent the boys and I a couple of things or whatever. God, I think when we were living back in like Clackamas, yeah, this would have been at least like 2020, something like that. But it was like a long time ago. They're like, "Oh yeah, here's some groceries." I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet, thanks." Like, but yeah, I've never used it personally.
Yeah, I mean, I do. During COVID was crazy. Like, everything was shut down. You're kind of stir crazy at home. Like, what do you even do? Like, make money?
Yeah, nothing.
Make a lot of money because people were just out of their minds. Like, oh my God.
Well, it was crazy because Alika and I, Dom and I were the ones that got laid off. We were working at a Subaru in Portland at the time, and then Alika was actually working on COVID. He didn't get one day off. It was just he was still working at New Seasons, making shit happen, and like just constantly doing stuff. And we were kind of just sitting at home, just waiting for us to get an opportunity to go back to work. And instead, we were just sitting with our thumbs up our ass, basically. So yeah,
you were selling cars.
No, we were. So I was a lead driver over there. I've been working on cars since I was a kid, but I decided to just get more into like the driving aspect of it, just because I was just tired of working on the cars. And I was pretty good of a runner for that. And then Dom was both working on cars. He's been doing everything. I mean, everything from like being a mechanic, lube center, service advisor, you name it. Like, dude knows everything about the car industry.
So basically, when you guys break down, and when it inevitably does happen, you guys are good.
Oh yeah, you got 3 mechanics in the jam or in the band. And Alex actually he works for a towing company, so
Oh man,
it all works out perfectly. Yeah, so everybody knows something about cars, and a lot of people before our tour last year was like, "Oh yeah, well Bertha's gonna break down," and Bertha's our band. She's
yeah.
a '92 B250, and yeah, she is a babe. She's a babe. We take care of her in many different ways. Like, we got the transmission taken care of. Alika and Dom personally put it back in to save money, just to be
Oh
like, oh yeah,
yeah.
can you just rebuild it, and then we'll just put it in ourselves. And yeah, just did it that way and made it work. And yeah, we had no trouble on the road except for day one. So day one we had a U-Haul trailer, and I looked at one of the tires and was like, I don't really like this tire. It looks like it's gonna pop. And we're like, well, we have no other choice, so it's gonna either pop or it's not. I'm like, okay. So right as we're driving, we get all the way down to Medford, and we're starting to steer off, and we're gonna switch drivers. I usually like to drive first, just because
Mhm.
I definitely need to sleep. I've learned, especially with like touring and doing all this stuff, sleep has been my best friend for sure. And yeah, like it inevitably popped, and we were like, well, this is a great start to tour. So yeah, I'm gonna shake my hair out. Oh, there it is.
Man,
Okay.
dude, shout out to Davey Muse, man. He put me on the
Yeah,
band.
Davey.
Yeah, so I'm definitely familiar with Chlorine,
Oh,
but he
okay,
was like,
cool. Hell
"Yo,
yeah.
you got to check out what All Hype is doing right now." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
Hell yeah. Thanks, man. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, Davey, shout out to the Davey. And then of course, Rung, we're about to play
Hmm.
a couple shows with them. So yeah,
Yep.
it's really cool to see the way that the Portland scene has it's very cohesive and very supporting of each other. One of the scary things about when we moved out here from Hawaii was that we were worried that we were going to get mainlanded, which basically meant like, we're not from here, so they were just going to like
Hmm.
push us out or whatever. And then instantly, like, we moved here, and everyone's like, what band are you in? Do you want to play this show? You want to do this? And everyone's super supportive. Like, shout out to our boys in Noise Brigade, because like that was the first show we got to see at Analog Cafe, now
Yeah,
the High
man.
Limit Room. And instantly, like, we just mentioned that we were in a band, and they instantly were like, oh yeah, let's try to get you guys on. And we don't have any gear, we don't got anything on us, like we don't have a bassist at the moment, we're trying to figure that out. So yeah, man, no, we're definitely blessed to be in this scene for sure.
Yeah, you guys came down as a band from Hawaii, like what,
Hmm.
21?
Oh no, 2018,
Okay, damn. Okay,
mid
that's
2018 for sure.
because I saw that somewhere. I'm like, what? Like they did what? They went from
Yeah,
Hawaii down to Portland,
yeah.
and they're just gonna make it work.
Yeah, I mean that's just been our mentality since day one. Kind of long story short, Dom and I became friends just from playing drums. I used to play drums in a band, and then of course Dom was in every band possible, as he always is. And then we started playing together in different band or different projects in the same shows. And um, then Alika, I got a chance to meet up with Alika, and they were all originally from Mililani. So we grew up just hanging out, all having the same circulation of friends. And then out of nowhere, we just started up All Hype after doing a Halloween cover show. And
Mhm.
yeah, it was pretty much meant to be since then. Yeah. Dom, Alika, and I have always had like the same mindset. It's just like, shit's gonna happen. We kind of just have to make it work. And especially like we didn't expect All Hype to really pick up as fast as we did back home. And then it was more of like, well, we can kind of see this going somewhere. And yeah, we just decided that we were going to move to Portland because it was in between, major cities like Seattle and, San Francisco and the rest of California and stuff too. And I never knew shit about Portland until I moved here. And then, yeah, we just haven't left since because it's such a great city and so slept on. And it's honestly, it's an oasis, truly. I'd say Portland is an oasis for a lot of different bands. Like every band that I meet that comes out here loves Portland. But it's always like hard to get shows out here or whatever. But I'm noticing that that's completely shifting ever since things have started to open up since COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, did you guys have any like sit down discussions like, hey, it is expensive to live here?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how
Exactly.
we're making it work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you guys all live together or separately or?
So we used to. So when we first moved out here, Alika moved out here like a month, or I think it was a month. Oh yeah, that's what it was. He moved out a month before us with his girlfriend at the time, and we were actually offered to open up for Silverstein, and he was gone already. And we were like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have to turn down the Silverstein gig because Alika already moved out to Portland. And I was like, dude, can you fly back? And he's like, no, I already spent all my money. So he already flew out and was just like, fuck. So yeah. Yeah, so he moved out a month before us, and then Dom and I got an apartment, and then we inevitably all moved in together just to kind of make it work. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's such a high risk, high reward situation.
100%. 100%.
Where, yeah, I mean, did you guys have some money that you were sitting on to like come out or?
Oh, I sold my Pokemon card collection. I sold my Pokemon card collection. I sold my my car. I sold a bunch of different stuff. Shout out to my parents because they helped supported bringing my drum kit out here because I had a DW performance series. A performance series is professional. It doesn't matter. But basically got my drum kit out, and we used that DW forever until Dom got his SJC stuff. And yeah, like, the fact that we got here and we're able to get a studio pretty quickly, and start practicing and getting our own little like spot and everything set up was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty wild. We just basically had a discussion like, oh yeah, if we're gonna do this, we're going all in or not at all. So yeah, here we are, almost like 7-8 years now later.
Yeah, but was there like any conversations like, hey, if this doesn't take off or ramp before this, we're just gonna go
no,
back
it's
home?
no, all gas, no brakes.
Okay.
All gas, no brakes.
You must have had like some actual like heat to sell for the Pokemon collection.
Oh, I mean, so I did the math on it, and I'm pretty sure I would have had at least like $10,000 worth of like cards if I had just not sold it. Growing up, like, so I grew up in Hawaii pretty much all my life, and then before that was Okinawa and Thailand. My dad was in the Marine Corps, so I basically was always into like I was always into Pokemon since day one. And it's like I was collecting cards since I was a kid. I was always like, oh, I'd keep them in the sleeves, and I wanted to make sure that nothing ever happened to them. That I just like the artwork. I never really got into the actual game, but I got into like the actual like video games or whatever. And the cards were just cool. I sold all of it for like I think $600, or at least what I had, because I know I've got so much more somewhere. My parents tell me that they when they sold the house in Hawaii and moved out to the States, that I had a binder somewhere in all of their stuff, but it's in a storage unit on the East Coast that they haven't even gotten a chance to like touch for like a couple years. And I'm so curious what cards I'm missing, because that could just be so much more money that I can just hold on to. That's paying for the next record for sure.
Are you anxious that when you get there, it's like not moldy or ruined?
No, I think I've always had binders that have like the zippers and everything.
Okay.
And I've always had,
yeah.
I was really big on like making sure that they're in penny sleeves. And yeah, I mean, at the same time too, if I find it and like, they're ass backwards and I can't sell any of them, then, I at least get my cards back. So that's all I really care about. Yeah. I've never really been about like, scalping and trying to sell them. Like, the other day I pulled like a random gold card and I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. But I've mostly tried to hold on to them. Like whenever we sell merch, I started for the tour. I made a bunch of all hype Pokemon packs, and it was like a little all hype sticker with a Pokemon logo on it, and then I just had a bunch of just like I pull a lot of cards just for fun. It's my cigarette addiction basically,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and then I just do that, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool card, but it's not really for me, so I want to give it back. So I just kind of like make a little like special card. And it's like, hey, thanks for buying our merch. Let me get you into the same collecting that I grew up in. And some people they spark interest in it, and some people they're just like, oh, sick. I'll just give this to like my little cousin or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So sorry I couldn't make it to your show. I was buying
oh,
cards
don't
and
worry
I'm
about
broke now.
it. Oh, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm curious. So, what food places in Portland remind you of Hawaii?
Oh, automatically 808 grinds. I'm gonna say this right now. There's a spot right next to Gigantic Brewing in Southeast Portland. It is the closest to home, and also right down the street from our studio, which is super sick. And it's called 808 Grinds. The spam musubis, their poke, their shoyu chicken, their Kahlua pork, everything. Like I just got back from Hawaii for my sister's wedding, um, not more than like 24 hours ago, something like that. And yeah, like it's the closest thing to home. So if I ever get homesick, it's literally just down the street from us, which is honestly the craziest like coincidence of all things too.
Yeah, I was super curious because I'm like, you grew up in Hawaii for such a long time. It's like,
Yeah.
leaving that area had to have been difficult.
I mean, a little bit. It's just we always go and visit every year. Usually, it's for a
Okay.
show. And like last year, we played. It was kind of a full circle moment. We played a Halloween show, and we dressed up as Slipknot, and basically just like, yeah, we were just kind of just doing our thing, and yeah, it was a really good show, and it was really nice to catch up with a bunch of people. My little cousin opened up for us, so that was really cool for an all ages event to have. My cousin kind of following around in her cousin's footsteps in a way. And yeah, just badass shit. I mean, that's the thing about Hawaii and like the scene. It's always been a roller coaster just because we're kind of in between a lot of the hardcore and punk scene, and then there's the reggae and Hawaiian music,
Yeah.
and then there's like us in the middle where we're kind of blending genres is what we've been told a lot. Honestly, we just like to play what we like to play. Pop punk's probably like the core foundation for sure. But yeah, we've always listened to so much different things that like it's hard to just narrow it down and pigeonhole it to one thing.
You can make it work though. I mean, POD does it perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So given that Alika's in chlorine,
hmm
are you guys concerned about like balancing those schedules because chlorine's also kind of taken off as well?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, as the sea rises, so do all the ships. So as long as we're
Yeah.
all kind of working out and making things happen for each other, like regardless, like we're all just going to take care of each other. Honestly, Dom's the one that we always have to worry about because he's always being asked to play drums in this and fill in for that, and it actually works out perfectly because it gives us time to write. And it's also good too because he's been, helping out the homies in Like Roses, and they've been
Mhm.
picking up. Hopeless just picked them up, and they've been on tour and doing all the badass shit. And Dom, of course, representing the PNW, and of course us ourselves. It's yeah, honestly, no, I usually have to manage a lot of just like what shows we want to do more than
Mhm.
anything. We've been offered a bunch of stuff and it's always really cool. And but I think the biggest thing for us is that we don't want to just follow in the footsteps of everybody else. We want to do like we always just say we want to do legendary shit. And if we're not doing legendary shit, then it's just basic. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I don't know how else to actually answer that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is a little confusing just because like, speaking of which, Alik is at chlorine band practice right now, but I think it's because we're always so busy, like figuring out what times we can actually practice. It's nice when, we get to practice, it ends up just being a hang and it's never really
Yeah.
like, too businessy or whatever. Um, I think the hardest part for us is always just like figuring out like content. Like we're really bad about that. But anytime that we get like an idea for something, like when we got to play emo night last year, we were just like, oh yeah, let's make a little skit or whatever. And when we got announced for Warped Tour and everything too. Like that was fun because we're just like, it's more of the spur of the moment. It's hard for us to actually like plan those things out completely. It's more of like, oh, this would be fun. And then we just kind of like lock into this one idea. And then that's kind of the magic of it, I guess. But yeah, never anything like too crazy. I think that's the cool thing about like when Chlorine, they just played at Star Theater and, you know, just getting to hang out and not have to do anything. I felt weird because I was like, okay, can I help bring stuff on stage? Like, what are we doing? We're always sitting in the background helping each other out. So
totally. Yeah, I mean, last summer was a big deal for you guys. You guys went to Japan and played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was like was that May, June, or?
That was in no, that was in January.
Oh, so about a year.
Yeah, yeah,
so,
we had some change for sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Shout out to our boys in Good Grief. Yeah, that was an eye-opening moment. I think the biggest thing too, because you know I lived in Okinawa and like visited Japan as like a kid, so it's a little bit different. But getting a chance to really experience the scene out there, that really just kind of stepped the game up for us a lot because everybody's on point when it comes to the staff, the bands, the audience. Everybody is just like super enthusiastic. I think the craziest thing was when people started like trying to take the mic from me and sing my own words, in a different country, like thousands of miles away. Was the most wildest moment where I was like, oh shit, I guess we're actually doing something. This is kind of wild. Yeah, it was very eye-opening and it was like, okay, we gotta like step some shit up. We gotta figure out like what else can we do. And I think the coolest thing is that such an early song like our song called Sunshine. Like we had just played it a couple times and people were just we hadn't put it out or anything yet. We had just done the recordings. And yeah, the response of that before it was even out was absolutely incredible. And yeah, and then the fact that people do their research when they go out to Japan, like every single band that I've seen, like a lot of those shows, people are stage diving, people are crowd surfing, people are catching each other, making sure each other are taken care of. And I think it's like the moment where I was like, yeah, the US doesn't have shit on Japan. We need to step our game up. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, then Warped Tour happened, July? I want to say.
Yeah, so that was the last week tour with Relate. And that was on, what was it, the 26th or 27th, something like that. But we had played in Bellingham literally the day before, and we did Seattle, Bellingham, and then we flew down to Long Beach for that show.
Okay, you flew down. Okay.
Yeah, so we were like, when we got the announcement, originally we were supposed to go up to Vancouver, BC, and I know my friends from Canada are wondering like, when the fuck are you guys coming through? We're working on it. But it was a very like weird moment because we couldn't announce anything yet, but we just gotten the announcement from the guys at Ernie Ball, and we tried to reach out and we're like, hey, so we're canceling the Canada show, and we don't want to cancel this show. Is there any way that you can put us early enough on the slot to where that we can play and bail out? And they were super accommodating. Yeah, Fourth Corner Punk Fest, just every year we can play, I want to play because those guys are so awesome. And it was cool to like, right as we were leaving Teenage Bottle Rockets, just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I was like, okay, cool. My fucking heroes are just right there. And we got to bail out for fucking Warped Tour. This is just a weird, like, I don't know, fever dream moment. So,
but it looked like it was worth it, though. I mean, it looked like a pretty sizable crowd.
Oh my God. It was weird because like we were literally the first band for day 2 and people were just pouring in. So like more and more people are coming in. And I think the cap for the day was like somewhere in the ballpark of 80,000 people. And I think there was like already like 30 to 40,000 people already like piling in. And it was just like, where the fuck are we? Yeah. So it was also weird too, because we the day beforehand, we have our in-ear rack and everything, and we brought that down, brought a lot of breakables. They threw phantom power into our in-ear rack, and for those who don't know, basically they're just shooting electricity and making everything dial to 11, so we're just getting static and more volume than we really need inside of our ears. So it was like, you could probably even go back and watch the video too. Like the second that I'm singing in 3D, I throw my earplug out and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just using stage volume. There's no monitors or anything on stage. I'm just like, I just gotta time to nut up or shut up, basically. Yeah. So it was wild to like do that on such a big ass stage. But I think the fact that we had played for 3 weeks and really dialed it in, we were just prepared and we just didn't want to let anybody down was our biggest thing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was one of the bigger Warped Tour dates of last year. I mean, I went to DC and like it was much smaller than Long Beach.
Well, I mean, still the fact that like it was just such a wild setup, and the fact that we talked about always wanting to go and play Warped Tour and like check it out back when it was supposed to go to Hawaii, and it never came into fruition, and we were like, oh well, that's pretty cool. But when this opportunity came through, it was like surreal because we were just like, yeah, we'll just throw our name in the ring and see what happens, and probably won't get picked or whatever. And then yeah, we just figured out you can vote every single day, you can do all the things, and we did that, and we were just assuming like, all right, well, shout out to all the bands who win. And then they sent us an email, and I literally just got done sparring with a client, and I thought I had a fucking concussion because I was looking at it, and like I lost like all of my fucking air in my lungs because I was just screaming, running around in the gym, just being like, "Yo, let's fucking go! This is not happening." Yeah, it was wild. It was wild for sure. I think especially for Warped Tour, it was more of a little kid dream for sure. But I think the weirdest part is that we were the only West Coast band out of the 6 bands that were picked. And we were like, well, this is cool. More pressure on us because now we got to fucking represent the entire West Coast now. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, just weird.
I mean, is there any other side quests that you want to do? Like you've done Warped Tour now, you've done Japan. Like, what comes to mind?
Take me anywhere. I definitely want to go to the UK. I think that's one thing that like we've talked about a lot. Like we're always down to play wherever. Like if we get a chance to play in Mexico City, or we can play in I'd still want to play in Canada for sure. A lot of places. I honestly want to play the East Coast. Like I think that's the one thing that we've been waiting on is like getting a chance to go and open up on the East Coast and plan something out, kind of like going back and forth, like bring an East Coast band out here and then try to bring us out that way. Just make it more like cohesive and yeah, there's like so many different spots that I want to play. Like I want to play in Indonesia. I want to go and play in Australia and visit like some of my uncle and my aunties that live down there. Yeah, take me to the moon. Don't really make a difference.
So like, is there any other bands that you would like love to open up for? Like I think you opened for Bayside, I think.
Yeah, I mean anybody who would take us on tour. I think that's the biggest thing. I think for us, if I had to put like a dream tour together, we've been trying to work on bringing our buddies from Japan out here to the West Coast. And that's been its own like, trials and tribulations just because of just like customs and visas and all sorts of other stuff and, lots of, modern things that are going on right now. But yeah, we've been trying to like just to get a tour with those guys in the West Coast is definitely on my bucket list for sure. But like a dream tour, like if I was to play with like one of our heroes, like shit, if the story so far is hearing this, fucking put us on tour, that'd be cool as fuck. There's a lot of like integrations with hardcore bands that are playing right now, like Drain's coming into town and they're playing with Haywire, No Pressures on that as well. Yeah, it's like there's so many bands that are out there. I mean, we're always down to play. It doesn't really matter if they're like in our genre or whatever that you want to call it. I'm always down to just play with really cool bands that want to put on a good show.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with Millionaires next week, so
exactly. That's a perfect like example of it too, because the bands that are on this list should not know each other at all, because you got Millionaires, which is like girl pop DJ, rock shit, and they just always kill it every single time. Like I think we caught a little bit of their. I think they played on Sunday. I forget. But like just from some of the videos that I've seen, and like you know, seeing Meredith over at emo night and everything, it was really cool just to see just like that type of energy. And then of course you got Rung, which that's shout out to Davey. Like that man does not know how to not put on a good show. So
oh yeah,
it's like we went over to their little house show or whatever, and my first time watching them, and it was a really good show, and I'm really stoked for Star Theater to pop off for them. So
yeah, speaking of the story so far, 3D came out what, a year and a half, 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago, yeah. So it'll be 2023. I think it's like August or September, something like that.
So a little bit, maybe a little bit over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So running through that record, I mean, it was pretty apparent, like the story so far, neck deep, kind of wearing it on your sleeve a little bit. Was that like intentional, like just to kind of have
a little bit?
like,
I mean,
yeah,
I think we were just like, we went through a lot of like first albums. I've always been a huge Sum 41 fan.
Yeah.
And like All Killer No Filler, like a lot of people always forget that Half Hour Power exists, which is so funny because like I listen to that album every now and then. I'm just like, damn, this is such a good album. But then they also like they re-recorded Summer onto All Killer No Filler, and All Killer definitely feels like more of a true first album.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's like why a lot of people, they listen to that and they're like, oh yeah, that Sum 41's first album is so great. And I was just always curious on like, well, I don't want to go and re-record a song, so I really want to go out there and like really send it on our first record. And going through Justin Abel, and the fact he's just like our magical fairy dust of a fifth Beatle, and he's able to kind of like help like bring to life a lot of what we wanted to do. Like we demo everything beforehand, and it was so funny when I sent him over the demos. He was like, well, we could have just gone over a voice memo and then just go from there. I was like, you motherfucker. we like spent way too much time like diving way too deep into it. I was already going through like song category, like how we were gonna like squeeze all the songs together, how like From Out of Nowhere was gonna go into Redwoods, like how like High Water going into I Don't Owe You was gonna be a huge ordeal. Like I've already had like the entire planned out set up, and he was just like instantly like nailed it down, just became the glue to what made 3D so special for Cert.
Yeah, have you worked with a producer before? Because you have a couple EPs, I believe, and then
so Tony Lenosi, shout out to Tony. Like he he really helped us out, like really kind of figure out what kind of sound we wanted. Just because a lot of the songs we kind of just picked up and we were just writing just because we had just gotten to Portland, and those were kind of like our prologue years. And like those were like the years where we were really trying to figure out what All Hype was. And I think with like Sit and Spent, when we recorded that back in Hawaii, it was like, oh, it was cool. We kind of understood what the song sounded like, but once we got to Oregon, we got a chance to actually go into a studio and like sit down and play with it and work with it with Tony. It was definitely like we were starting to figure it out a little bit more. So like Misadventures was definitely more of like the demo like EP, just like, oh, this is what the songs sound like. And then Greetings from the Other Side was definitely like, oh, we're starting to figure it out a little bit more. It still was like mostly Dom, Malika, and I. And we were kind of still like kind of going back and forth. Like we had a guitarist, and that's how Alika switched over to bass, just so that we could have somebody play bass. And it was it was definitely like a very big tutorial, I guess, like setup for us, because we were still figuring it out. But definitely like by the time we did Greetings, we figured out a little bit more of what we wanted to do. And then after opening up for Bayside, that was also like a moment where like, okay, we're definitely starting to feel ourselves out. I think I started writing some of 3D like right into January of 2020, and then like COVID hit, and then instantly we were
Yeah.
just kind of sitting there. And yeah, I mean, back to like even all of that too, like instead of just doing like we couldn't play shows, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll write. And I just
Mhm.
write every single day and just do something or whatever. And then we couldn't go and do shows, and then I started going stir crazy. And
Yeah.
that's really what 3D comes from, is just kind of like all of those experiences, like, the good, the bad, the ugly. Um, and forcing ourselves to be like, well, this is who we are, and this is how it's going to be, as we push forward. Like, this is going to be our foundation album, and everything from here is going to spring off of what we do from 3D. And it can go in any direction. Like, that's also the other thing too. Like, for us to make a Midwest emo song is so fucking crazy, because Alika's like, oh well, Mike can just sing this parts, but even on the record, he actually sings all of the song, and like we switch back and forth all the time with it. But for us to do that, and then also have a song like Morgue, which is a lot more like crazy, all over the place song, and then you have like Redwoods, which is just very pop punk,
Mhm.
straightforward, back to front. Yeah, we didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves into one specific like idea. We really wanted to kind of build off of whatever we wanted to play. Like the same thing
Yeah.
with High Water. You always got to have a punk song. You always got to have a minute and a half punk song where it's just straight to the point, blast beats.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a very, like, 10 songs, 25 minutes, this is what we can do. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you had to show someone, like, one song off the album, would it be Redwoods because it's the most popular, or is another one that kinda sticks out?
Uh, I'd say Morgue, honestly. I feel like Morgue is definitely like the most diverse. Like it gets a bit of everything out of us. I think a lot of times whenever we share the album, it's usually just like, oh yeah, like just go listen to Redwoods or whatever. But like that's always
Yeah.
just like instant hook or whatever. But if I was gonna say like, oh, this is the song that really shows like our way of writing, like it's not specifically linear. And that's really also like a big thing that Domalika and I always do, is like, if one of us comes up with something, like we're always down to figure it out together and try to blend it all together so that we all kind of still get to play and do the same things that we want to do. I feel like with Morgue, I didn't really mess around with the lyrics so much, because I knew that the song was just like really raw and felt really good, with the way that Alika had written it out, and how we kind of just blended with it. The fact that we were able to play with the harmonies, the fact that we've got our times where we're like singing, but we're also belting, and kind of just showing like our dynamics and range. And yeah, definitely Morgue would probably be that. Momentum is definitely
Mhm.
one where I think about, where it's like I didn't want the song on the record, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so it was one of those songs where I was like, oh, this is just basic as shit. Whatever. Like it's just gonna be drivey. It's gonna be really like mid pace. It's just gonna kind of just be very to the point. I try to be very poetic with a lot of words, and I was like, I can't really think of anything else. It's just very bare minimum. And yeah, like I got told otherwise and was like, no, Mike, do the fucking song. I was like, okay,
No.
I guess that's what
I'm
we're
glad you
doing.
guys did because, like, that's the one song that immediately popped out to me. It was like, that's very from Undersoil and Dirt as you can get.
Mm, exactly. So yeah, so it's like it's albums like that. I think back to like Wishful Thinking, from
Mhm.
Neck
Yep, that
Deep.
too.
That's definitely a record that we were listening to a lot, um, to kind of like give us a little bit of inspiration. It's always hard because I don't want to listen to a lot of things when we're recording, um, but it's more of like the energy of those songs,
Yep.
that I really try to capture. Like right now, we're in the process of writing as well, and possibly recording. I can't
Mhm.
say exactly, but uh, it's yeah, it's something that I'm thinking about right now. That like the energy of songs are more important to me than diving too deep into lyricality now. Like I've noticed that, you know, the simpler I am with things, the more poetic it becomes. Um, and that's something that's hard for me because I always want to change things because I feel like I'm not ever expressing myself enough. Um, and that's the same thing too with like Dom and Alika. Like, you know, we always try to figure out something that works out best for all of us. And sometimes like we'll make a really cool part, but it's a little too complicated, so we have to like make it simple. And then there's like, you know, those beauty like small parts, like those little beauty spots basically where you get to see it and it's like, oh, okay, this is very fluid, this is very natural. It's not like trying to be forced into the song or whatever. Like doing what's best for the song has definitely been the hardest part of what I've been trying to figure out, like especially with the new songs that we've been doing. Like Sunshine's a perfect example of that because it was you know, that was an ode to my grandmother. I wish that, you know, she got a chance to listen to it before she passed. But yeah, just a lot of complications by, you know, after releasing 3D and us trying to put out new music, it was just like just didn't work out. So I went into the studio after the fact, and I think that's also kind of what helped me, I guess, go into the studio feeling stronger with it. Was that the fact that I knew she was there, like by my side with a lot of that, and that energy there was just like it made me feel it made me feel more confident, I think. And I think that's the other thing with like Sunshine as well, is that we were kind of playing around with the idea like, okay, we're going to go a little bit heavier. Like we want to kind of play around with things. Let's just get a little feeler out there and just see what people like react to. And so far everybody's like, oh man, when are you guys going to put out a music video for Sunshine? It's like, I don't know.
It costs money.
It costs money. So yeah, but it's also like when we do a music video, we try to again have some sort of vision for it. Like with From Out of Nowhere, that was just like a fun, like we wanted to do a lot of edits. We wanted it to be crazy and wild and feel like we were kids. Redwoods was very much like a spur of the moment where we're like, we had a show and I wanted to do something that was a little bit like after the fact of 3D. That this is, you know, us playing the shows, doing the thing, and that it's all about just having fun and just being together. And then Momentum was very much like we wanted to pretty much take a sledgehammer to the music industry and to the scene and be like, so this is all hype, and try to like enter that new era. So that's why we went into the what is it, the smashing room or whatever, and they got me to like break a bunch of shit and do all the different things with it. And you know, shout out to our buddy Matt. He really like captured a lot of that energy with like, you know, the 3D look and the fact that we were able to announce the album with Momentum too. Again, a song I didn't think really needed to see the light of day, and then next, you know, everybody is always like, yo, that's my favorite song. And I'm like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of my own way.
Yeah, I mean, was Sunshine meant to be a standalone single, or was it like kind of part of an overall album cycle?
So yes and no. So
okay,
I'll give a little bit of a teaser now. So we definitely have new songs coming, and Sunshine has definitely been part of what I want the next record to be like.
Okay.
Especially with like the writing style. That's I'm kind of playing around with a couple different ideas. I don't want to give too much away with it, but the idea being is that I love continuity, and I I think about it like the kind of like Star Wars Episode 4. Like that's 3D to me. Like that's that's the record, and then now we have to make Empire Strikes Back, and we have to kind of like build into that and really try to like still remember what really made 3D so special. And Sunshine is very much like the last song on the record is what it feels like.
The closer.
If that makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely a closer. And I think that's the fun part about it, is because we're kind of giving you the end of the story, but then we want to show you what the rest of the story looks like. And that's what we've been trying to build on as of lately. and it's been really cool, especially with the scenes help too. I feel like it's been really cool to go into the studio and like do gang vocals for friends, and going like, especially for Good Grief as well too, from Japan. They asked me to jump on a song, and I featured on one of their songs on their most recent record, and it was really cool just to kind of like the fact that we're still doing stuff, and the scene is still thriving and doing things, that it's kind of nice to take kind of a step back, and we could go and tour and do a bunch of stuff all through, like Japan, Warp Tour, all the West Coast tour, play with our buddies in Relate. I mean, shout out to those boys playing out with Good Terms right now. Like, it's just everybody, picks up like when you least expect it, and that's the coolest thing about the scene for me, is that like, as long as we're all looking out for each other, and that's just what's going to happen. And and Ernie Ball's doing another Battle of the Bands this year too, and I know a bunch of my friends, like, they like go and jump on it. Like, if anything I can do to help, my biggest advice would literally just be go vote every day. Just go promote yourself. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. And you literally do not know what can fucking happen.
Are you guys ineligible to winning it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, even if we were, I feel like we've already had the opportunity. I would prefer somebody else to go and have that same opportunity. I mean, if they take us and announce this at Warped Tour, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah. But at the same time too, I'd honestly prefer to be in the studio as soon as possible.
Okay.
And yeah, and I think we'll definitely be touring this year for sure. We'll definitely go back on the road. It's more of just kind of like, we got a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we're figuring out right now. And
for sure.
Yeah, and we've got these shows with Millionaires, and we're kind of taking everything step by step. And it's just weird because right now, being in a band, it's hard because there's so many bands that are now finally like out of 2025 into 2026 are actually getting a chance to like go on tour. Warped Tour is back as like more of a festival type deal, and they're in 2 separate countries now. So it's like all the shows that were last year plus Montreal and Mexico City. So like, that's, a big handful of things. The fact that like, there's so many different tours going on all at the same time. It just goes to show you how awesome the music scene is thriving right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So if I'm hearing this correctly, you have stuff written. Mm-hmm. If you had it your way, you would have a new record out this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Are you going back to Justin to produce?
Oh yeah, always. Okay. Always, yeah. I think the thing about like us working with Justin as well too, is that, like I said, he's our 5th Beatle, and adding in Alex as our bassist now. It's like, if you guys have been to a show and seen Alex play, the first time I saw Alex and Dom play together in our studio was crazy because of how locked in he was, especially because he was like, if we could have brought him on tour, we would have, because he was already practicing the parts. And shout out to our buddy Eli from Downpour. Like, he filled in for Dom when he was on tour doing stuff and helping out with the homies in like Roses, and yeah, it just goes to show you that like, yeah, we got some definitely special stuff in our pocket right now. It's just more of just like finding the time for all the stars to align, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's an important question for me because I feel like you can go with anybody if you have the money for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Alan Day from 4 Years Strong, that would be a great pairing.
Oh yeah, shout out to Alan too, because like him working with the boys in Chlorine as well too, and like, I'm a huge 4 Years Strong fan, and like there's so many different options and stuff too. And I think especially in the future, like, I definitely want to play around with the idea of like, kind of collabing with a bunch of different like producers and like really play around with sounds and whatnot. But I think definitely like, after like the past couple of years and stuff, Justin has just always like, he just definitely has like understood the way that we think, and we are very chaotic when it comes to being in the studio. But it's, it's the beauty and the madness. And I think, even if like Justin wasn't to record or he didn't have the time or whatever it was down the line, he'd always have a part in it for sure. Like
Yeah,
I can say that 100% for sure.
I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe you run into Sampira.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the cool part about it too, is like getting the opportunity to feature on songs is also very weird for me because I was never intended to be a singer. It was always like, oh, I play drums and I live in Hawaii and this is what I do. And then it took literally one of my best friends, Dom, to be like, Mike, you should fucking sing. And then now here we are 8 years later. So you can thank Dom for all of this, by the way.
Yeah. So new music on the way. Hopefully a couple tours. I mean,
yeah, we got some stuff. Yeah, we got some stuff in our pocket. I'm really excited to announce some things very soon. Definitely after these Millionaires shows coming up next week, actually, which is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. We got a lot of really cool stuff to announce. And yeah, I'm really stoked on a lot of the new stuff we've been playing around with for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that the social posts where it's like you guys are working on a trailer or something. I mean, if that's not a teaser, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was actually funny too because like even when we go on social media, you'll catch me just randomly out of nowhere, just on the story. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna post this just to have fun with it, and it's like us right next to, especially with all of the new gear that we have to actually record with inside the studio. We just got shelves set up. Shout out to my buddy Vince. Fucking from Side Note, like he helped put together like art. We had so much shit inside of the studio. It was just not easy to move around in it. And now we're able to like plug everything in, record whenever we want to. We have a laptop set up, we have a full interface and everything. Not our Focusrite, which is the fact that we can upgrade now is super sick. There's a lot of different things that we've been playing around with, and I think one that everybody keeps asking me is like, oh, you guys are gonna go the attack route because you guys started playing around with synths, and I'm like, no, yes, maybe, I don't know. We don't think about it that way. It's more like, oh, is this gonna be fun? Like,
yeah,
that's all that really matters.
But yeah, man, it's been fun hanging out. I mean, again, this is the, other than Davy's band, the other unsigned artist I've talked to on the podcast.
Oh shit, hell yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like, yeah, with the album that you have out, that's a very good introduction to what you do. And this is a big year for you guys. With a second full-length album. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if it ramps.
That's the only thing that really matters for us, is just like, as long as we're doing fun shit. I mean, especially this year, I think with a lot of the cool stuff that we're setting up right now, again, just trying to do legendary shit. I think the biggest thing for us has always just been like, well, it's hard to top last year for sure, 100%. I think those were just moments that I look back on. Like, I still have to watch the video on our YouTube page to remember what happened, because like my mind just went totally blank because I was on like 3 rock stars, 3 hours of sleep. Our in-ears were fucking like messing with us, and it was just full on muscle memory. And just the fact that we were there was just so surreal. And the only things in my mind were like, don't fuck up. It's not about you. Go represent. And to do all of that and also come back. And then I guess the biggest thing for me is just that like I want to represent Portland the best way possible, because like we're such a slept on city, and there's so many different things going on, and like there's some great bands coming out of Seattle, great bands coming out of California, like a couple just like on the top of my head, like Imbalance, Glass Generation, Calm Grove, Seattle's got Pallets, Everything's Fine, College Radio. Like I could literally go down, and then Portland, shit, I've got too big of a fucking list. Like, there's just so many good bands coming out right now that there's an abundance of music. And I think that's the beauty of it as well, is that you can never not see a good band, because I've seen a lot of shitty bands before. And I like the fact that like I can go to a show and not have to say that anymore.
Yep. It's all going down, man. I mean, the High Limit Room, you got.
Yep.
Oh, what else is there?
There's the Offbeat that just came out.
Yeah,
Friends
man.
of Noise, that's a really cool one. Yeah, all ages shows honestly is like the biggest thing for me. Like, you know, I'm turning 29 this year, which is really weird because I have the face of a fucking 17-year-old, and it still feels weird because it's like I feel like I was 21 literally yesterday, and now we've lived here for almost 7-8 years, and now we have so many friends and things. Like, now I'm kind of in the shoes of like where some of my favorite bands were playing. Like, there's a band I recommend everybody listening to from Hawaii called TV Microwave. They are probably like one of the biggest like influences for me, just energy wise. You can check them out. Like, I'm pretty sure it's either on Bandcamp or Spotify, but it doesn't matter. Because those guys, like, you know, Will, he kind of like took me under his wing when I was like 16 and couldn't really like stay in the bars or whatever, because those were the only places we could play shows. And, you know, we were just a bunch of kids just trying to get into the scene and try to get a chance to play. And he's been a huge advocate for, you know, pushing all ages shows and making sure that, you know, no bad things ever happen at shows. Everybody has a great time. Yeah, like in all hype fashion, we have 2 rules in every single show. Rule number 1 is everybody's family, and rule number 2 is if you fuck up rule number 1, I'm gonna kick your ass. So like that's the only things, because if everyone's not having fun, then it's not fun, like, for me. But you know, if everybody's having a great time, then that's what the real energy comes from, and that's what really matters at shows. Like, your music can be great and you can write, you know, the coolest thing or the simplest thing or whatever, but if nobody's having a good time and you're just doing it for all the wrong reasons, then, you know, people can see that and they can feel that in the room.
Yeah, man. That might actually be the best place to stop at too, because I feel like that might be the ethos of the band, is just have fun.
Thanks, man.
Give me 1 second.